Welcome one and all to, and it's been so long since I've said this. Oh my god. So long. But welcome to 3.0 of the Reset Button. And as everybody can see, I'm not alone this time. Last time it was an interview-only interview-only show, but this time I don't have one co-host like not episode, but 1.0. I don't have a replacement co-host like 2.0. There is a trio of us this time. Some of these faces you probably know. You've seen them around a few times. Is this my left? I don't know. But you see him on the right of your screen. That's Mr. Johnny Chase.
I'm on stage right. Yeah. Hi. That's me.
There he is. And maybe a face that not too many people have seen before, but she's ready to take this on and become a superstar. This is Liz.
Hi.
How's everybody doing?
Good. I had a day. Let's put it that way. It was a long work day of absolutely nothing. We're struggling to keep our eyes open at work.
Definitely agree with you. Definitely agree. It's been a week, 2 weeks of very hard day to day, but you don't even know how excited that I am to be here right now. This has been like the highlight of the latter half of the month, so I'm very excited.
That's awesome to hear, because this has been something I've been wanting to do forever. A lot of people know that I put out feelers a few months ago saying, hey, I want to make a video game podcast that's actually going to talk about video games. Can you imagine? That's exactly what we're doing here. So if you need a gaming podcast in your life, and you come to the right place, I guarantee it. But what we're going to do to start this out, because not everybody knows who everybody is here. Some of you may not even know who I am. Maybe you're here for Tanner. I don't know. So we're going to let you all know who we are, what we've been doing, what got us here, essentially. And I'm going to let these two take over before I start, because I feel like I'm just trying to, hog the stage here. Shame on me. So why don't we go ahead and we're going to ask Liz, what makes Liz Liz?
I don't know. I feel like I'm a different kind of special. Sometimes I think I'm a little crazy. I don't know what to say, but I have a lot of energy and enthusiasm for things that I'm excited about, or things that just like put me a little on edge. Like I always have my little situation or thing that I'm like hard pressed. I gotta do it. Anyway, I'm here because I just love video games, and I love talking with people, and I do want to, I just like want to make more friends and get out there, and I don't know. I like socializing. I like having fun. I just want to have a good time.
In terms of gaming, since obviously that's one of the main reasons why you're here, that's a big part of it. What would you say is like your go-to stuff? What really makes you want to continue this wild hobby of ours?
You know what? I'm at a point where I think it's hard to explain to, let's say, like elder Gen Zs and boomers, but like I think video gaming is definitely the top tier form of media. Not only is it like an interactive medium, I think like combined with the interactivity and where we are in terms of technology with video games, I think there is just an immense world of storytelling and feelings and challenges. There are so many mediums in gaming that cannot be satisfied in other media. So that's why I haven't quit. So I just remember when gaming used to like not be cool at a point. It's like, oh, nerd, like make fun of you kind of stuff. And I'm like, I'm just so happy that the general public definitely appreciates games more now. So that's what makes it great and exciting for me.
I remember the days back when like the GameCube was brand new. You were not the cool kid if you had a GameCube, man. It was miserable. Like it was, you were passable if you had the PS2 or the Xbox, but if you had a GameCube, it was over.
I can vouch for that because I was a cool kid getting an Xbox and a PS2, but never a GameCube. That was kid stuff. When I was like 10 years old, the GameCube was kid stuff. But now I kind of regret it.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot out there for the GameCube, and like right now, that's the perfect age where like, since like the pandemic hit, like a lot of people got nostalgic for the GameCube because like, no, that's what I grew up on, and then everything just like skyrocketed for pricing on GameCube stuff.
Well,
So now it's like almost equal to, or if not more than, retail price on GameCube stuff right now. It's pretty crazy.
And not even from a collector's standpoint. I remember first time I played Mario Sunshine, this was before HD was really a thing, and I remember playing that and thinking, it can't get better than this, right? This is the height of how Mario can look. This is amazing. And the game was good, but everybody was like, oh, GameCube, come on, man. I was like, what, 18, 19 at the time? Oh my god, it was horrendous. I got so much shit for being a GameCube fan. Well,
and also too, when
It has a handle on it, right? Like, come on.
it's portable. It makes it easier
Yeah, I
to
can
bring over and play games.
Yeah, I can
Double
take it over
Dash,
just like
Smash,
this.
come on.
Yeah.
But like being a kid, I had neighbors that had it. So I would just like walk down the street to my neighbors. I didn't have to buy it because I could just go down the street almost any time. So that's probably one of my greatest life regrets.
And also to collectors, because the box said limited edition platinum, it's not limited edition. I have 2 of these, so it's not really that limited now, is it?
It's so common.
It is so incredibly common.
Although this one I have right now is the second run of them when they took the component port out.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah.
this is just an AV GameCube.
Rough. Let's switch
Yeah.
gears here.
Although
real
I
quick.
have, well, I have the other one there has that port in there.
Well, let's switch gears.
And I have
here
the
real quick. Liz.
Sorry.
I just want to ask you this too. That way, everybody gets the full picture of what makes Lizzie. So, with content creation, I know you want to come on here and talk video games, but what's been your history? What's been your background when it comes to content creation, both online and anywhere else? Honestly.
So in general, I've kind of gone through phases. So definitely, I guess starting with like having the most free time was very much like an early. So I would say I started uploading videos like when I was like a dumb kid. Between teenager, I made videos all the time. I was very set on entering the film industry, and I eventually went to school and majored in broadcasting because it's practical, did the whole radio thing and video thing, and I think I broke a lot of my hearts towards the end of graduation because I was like, teachers, doesn't look like there's a lot of money in this industry. I don't think I'm gonna do it. And so I think I had a decent like skill set with like producing and stuff like that. However, I used to stream a lot on Twitch about 10 years ago when I was in college. So I kind of stopped making like videos and skits and that sort of stuff after high school because I kind of lost my pool of friends because we're all going to college, we're growing up. And I did streaming a lot. And there just got to a point where I got further and further in school with like working and education. I took it really seriously. I graduated like among the top in my class, so it was like schooling all day and night. I did eventually stop streaming once I moved onto a campus. So since then, I have made kind of sporadic videos. However, I am kind of in my new dream studio now, so I have been kind of working on stuff behind the scenes. So I have more of my casual channel that I've upkept through COVID, and I'm also working on like more scripted, serious, not that they're serious videos, but more formal content.
Awesome. And I know that for the most part, this is episode 1, so I'm going to break this rule really quick because I can't help but see all of this love that you're getting in chat. So much love just coming out for you here. Just
Thank
so
you,
everybody
everyone.
knows, this is a live show, and it's always going to be a live show. But for the most part, we're going to ignore you guys, and it's not because we don't like you. It's because this is going to become a podcast format that people can listen to on Spotify and different places like that. And if we're taking breaks to acknowledge you guys, that's going to suck for whoever's listening to the recorded. But hey, it's episode 1. We'll break a rule here and say, wow, everybody's coming out cheering for Liz here. Awesome.
Thanks.
So
I love you guys.
you've got a promising career here. People want to see you win. People want to see you do well.
Well, I know a lot of these people, and they know how excited I am to be doing this, so I appreciate their support.
All right, we're going to switch over real quick. We're going to go with Johnny. Now, a lot of people here right now know who Johnny is, but there's also a lot of folks who don't know who Johnny is. So I'm pretty much going to ask you the same thing, Johnny. What started with your streaming career? What makes you jump into the content creation? What drives Johnny Chase?
Cool. I think it was probably around like like the majority of us here, old Screw Attack days, watching AVGN, top tens, all that over on Game Trailers and on the website. And then I started watching stuff over with the Take Which Way guy, like Nostalgia Critic, stuff like that. And I just thought like, oh wow, this is pretty cool. I kind of want to try my hand on that. So got into the whole content creation first. So I started making stuff on YouTube and Blip, because that was the style at the time. And then kind of fell out of love with it. Then I found this site called Justin TV. Now this was like the precursor to Twitch. This like you could stream anything. Like they didn't care. There's no real categories. It's just, hey, go live, do whatever you want, right? I caught a guy named Man vs. Game. He would just, he just sat there and played video games. And I was like, wait, you can do this? And this was long before there was any type of money. No, there was no subs, there was no bits, there was no nothing. It was just, you did it because you wanted to do it. You wanted to do it for an audience, right? He was doing some 24-hour streaming. He had his girlfriend at the time on headset as well. And he was sitting there trying to beat Ninja Gaiden legit for the first time. And I thought that was so cool. I was like, man, I want to try that. So just going through forums, looking at different programs. It's like, hey, how do I do this? How do I capture this? And just kept doing that. Kind of fell out of it for a little bit. Went back to YouTube, tried, like a Let's Play show with my wife, doing other stuff there. At one point there, I got into just, I'm just going to comment on everything pro wrestling. And I kind of fell out of love with that. Right now, I'm kind of at a healthy place where it's just like, I like streaming. And if I have something to say on YouTube, I'll just post a video every now and then there. And I just noticed that like my quality is like really, really, really dire. I don't know if that's on your end, but I look all pixelated.
It keeps snapping
weird.
back and forth.
Yeah. Don't know if that's my internet or if you guys can hear me if I'm
your
I'm bad there, but
perfect.
Yeah, crystal clear.
oh, okay, good. I mean, that's kind of one of the things I've been striving for these last couple of months is just like getting everything good and perfect and not having any more mess ups. And then I can get really loud and not blow any one of your drums out. That's like the perfect spot for me. But yeah, no, just been doing, like I said, been doing this ever since the old days of Justin TV and over on the Twitch. Just love doing it. Just love playing games for an audience.
Speaking of games, I'm sure just like the rest of us, you have a very long background when it comes to gaming. But I'm curious to ask you the same question. What brought you into this crazy hobby of ours? Because gaming is madness anymore. Fun but crazy. What keeps you going with it?
Being as probably the elder statesman, I mean, we're the same age, you and I, Patrick. We're in our. I'm 40, dude. I'm fucking 40, dude. My parents had an Intellivision 2, so it wasn't the wood grain one. It was like the smaller, compact one. We're always a couple generations behind. That's just you can't really afford. Your middle class family can't really afford all the new consoles right away. So we went from Intellivision to 2600, then NES, SNES, and then when I got my own money, I started, buying Game Boy, N64, and there's a few generations I miss out here and there, but yeah, just as long as young as what's the wording? For as long as I've been able to hold the controller, I've been gaming. So like Intellivision, Atari 2600, those are my jam. But NES was really my jam. Like anything Nintendo. I tried to convince my parents that it was a good idea to invest in a Genesis, but they never did. So the only chance I ever got to play Sega was at a Canadian Tire kiosk, and I got to play Sonic 2's Chemical Plant Zone. Like every single time my dad would go get parts for the car, and like, all right, I'm gonna go play Sonic.
What didn't you?
Can you complete the level? And he's just like,
well, didn't you tell them that Genesis does what Nintendo don't?
No, I just said I wanted it.
Key selling point.
I didn't have any selling points. My selling point was I want it.
We already have video
It comes
games
with
at home.
Sonic. Come on, please on.
Yeah.
Please do the game.
We already have video games at home, but it has Sonic. Yeah, what does he do? He goes fast.
No, nothing like that. It was just like, no, get back in the truck. That was the end of that conversation.
That's a fair ending to it.
Yeah. Although probably one of my favorite memories though is that before we had an NES, I would always play on my uncle's NES. And then when my cousins came down from out west, they would bring theirs down there. When it came to my cousin's NES, they would play Zelda. I was never allowed to play it because like, no, you'll screw up my save file. Like, okay, won't touch it. But we just trade back and forth between the families, right? But then one night, my parents driving around with us around town, we stop at this word center. We're like, wait, what are we doing here? She's like, just wait. My mom came out with that control or that. What was the name of the basic the power set? Was it the power set? What came with the Zapper and Mario Duck Hunt?
Yes.
What am I thinking? Okay, came out with that. We were so excited. Got it home, unboxed it. That night was the first night we beat Mario Brothers. We were like so excited. We're like, yeah, we beat it. And then at the same time, we're like, we don't have anything else to play. Shit.
Oh no.
I didn't say shit because like I would have backhand my mom there. But then my uncle like lent us a couple of games, and he actually gifted me probably one of my favorite NES games of all time, which is Bionic Commando. And I sat and tried to master that and beat that.
It's funny you mentioned that nobody would let you play Zelda, because after a while, my cousins wouldn't let me play Zelda 2 around them anymore. Because every time I would get injured, I'd just go back to town and heal. And then I'd go out again and repeat this process to the point where they were just, they hated me.
Just play the game, Patrick! God!
Krella,
get out of the town!
you can take an L.
I didn't want
The
to
game
take
is so hard.
I didn't want to take an L. It was scary. Scary. All right, so I guess I'll let everybody know who I am. So I'm going to switch over to me. Some of you probably do know who I am. And also, I'll stand up real quick. Hey, like I said, merch coming. Reset Press right here.
Advertise that.
Oh, this is an old shirt. So I'll bring that back if anybody wants it. If you want the broadcast P, it'll be here before you know it. But my name is Patrick. Gone by many names over time. Back in the Screw Attack days when I was there since 2008, I went by the name Debaser. That happened to be the same name I used when I was in a local band here in the Charleston, West Virginia area. So probably not the best name to be known by, but that's what I went with for a long time. But let's see. I was a Screw Attack moderator, then Screw Attack administrator. Then I became the weekend news editor and intern. Then the lead news editor. Just so you know, there wasn't another news editor. So what a title that was. And then after the inevitable firing that I had because Rooster Teeth took over and there was a need for a news section, a friend of mine and I, Tanner, we said, screw this. We'll start our own news company. We'll start our own media company. We're going to call it, well, Tanner said, we're going to call it Reset Press. I was like, well, that's great. So what we did at that point with calling it Reset Press, we started the Reset Button. That was actually a podcast we started before we even had the name of the company. And then we also had Super Reset Brothers, which then allowed me to become Reset Patrick, and Tanner became, obviously, Reset Tanner. And my history of media, I do have a background in journalism. So along with news writing, I know how to do video editing, podcasting, I can make documentaries, I can do pretty much any sort of media you want, including new media. All if not most of the news stories you saw on ScrewAttack.com during the news days were done by me. But I used my real name. It wasn't Debaser, Reset Patrick, or anything like that. It was my first and last name. You saw that on there. And I'd like to say that I've created a lot of media over time, but I've always wanted the Reset Button and Reset Press to be just as big as it can be. And I think that we're going to make that happen here. I really do. I liked Iteration 1 with Tanner. Tanner just, he didn't want to continue doing this anymore. He just was done doing media online and just wanted to be just a guy. And that's fine. Like, if he came back today and wanted to do a podcast, we'd be doing a podcast. Ice was Iteration 2. Ice and I just decided, you know what? We just want to hang and play games. It was a little difficult coming up with, like, some big new topic every single week, and it stressed both of us out. Well, it was a lot better to just chill. But Iteration 3 here, I think this is going to be the one that really gets it. Everybody here seems to be loving what we're doing, and I am so pumped. So pumped. Now, video games? Like Johnny, I've been playing them since I was able to hold a controller, man. First game I played, I still remember this to the very day. It was Cookie Monster on Atari 2600. Cookie Monster on Atari 2600 was my introduction to video games, guys. So
did you have the number pad controller, or did you just play it on a regular?
I did. I sure did. Only on that. It's the only way to play it. If you play Cookie Monster on the Atari 2600 with one of the paddles, one of the joysticks, you will be arrested next time you're seen. I guarantee it. So you can only play with the number pad. Don't try it. I'm watching all of you. Don't even. And then, of course, I remember the day we got an NES because I was outside of the mall here in Charleston. I was being a little shit about something. I can't remember. Just throwing a fit. Just awful fit. My mom was just trying to do everything to calm me down. Wasn't happening. My grandma pulled up in the car, and there was an NES in the back of the car. She's like, look, your grandma got you an NES. And I was like, I don't care.
And she's like, all right.
So I have
turned the car back around and returned it.
So I have a question for both of you. So when you got your NESs, were they like around the Christmas season, or is it just kind of like whatever any time of the year? Because I feel like it's a big transaction just out of nowhere.
Oh, it was.
Like,
Yeah.
this is kind of your Christmas present.
That is a good question. I know it was wintertime for us. It was not the holidays. We didn't get it at Christmas time, but it was around wintertime. I want to say it was like right after Christmas. So like it was just like they had the money and just decided to get it.
Oh, I honestly can't remember what time of year. I would say it had to be because growing up, I mean, my grandma was a waitress, which equals not much money, and I think my mom's job was even worse because I think she worked like in the back at. God, I don't even think this restaurant exists anymore. Does anybody know Bennigan's?
I guess that's what you were to say.
Yeah.
They haven't been around for a long time.
Yeah.
Like at least 15 years.
So my mom worked back at the house at a restaurant called Bennigan's. So it wasn't like money was pouring in, guys. It just wasn't. But yeah, I don't remember it being like because my birthday is like in the dead ass heat of summer. So I don't think it happened then. I don't think it happened during Christmas. Maybe they just got it for me because I was a spoiled brat. I don't know. But I eventually calmed down, and I was playing Mario and some other stuff, and I was hooked from then on. I have been hooked for like ever. It was so funny that like I was so hooked on video games when I was younger that my stepdad told me, "Well, eventually you're going to get Nintendo tattooed on you." Don't think I haven't considered it. Don't think I haven't considered it, especially with like the Nintendo fan I am, especially with like. And this is for the people watching it live. You can see the one-up mushroom glowing in the background. Maybe I'm just a little hooked.
There's a lot of
On mushrooms or Nintendo?
I'm going to pretend I only heard one of those.
Yeah, I might be a little bit too. I mean, like you see the PlayStation light there. I can angle it up here. I have the Master Sword and the Hylian Shield hanging up on my wall. And then I have this gigantic Mario 3 wall scroll. Because it's my favorite game of all time.
I love it.
I might just like video games. Just saying.
You guys see my addiction in the background? Don't mind it. It's not a problem. No issues in my life. Ignore that. Crack it.
Oh, I see it. I see it.
I mean,
You can't
at
lie
least
to me.
it's just one, right? You don't have all of them.
All of what?
Like every single Switch ever made.
Oh, don't start that.
No.
Don't start that.
Yeah.
Well, we have
Then
got
you
the
gotta
second
go
Switch
get,
for
like-
my partner, okay? And he's got a nice OLED. It's pretty, and we just interchange the docks depending on where we are. We're okay. We don't have a problem.
No, nothing wrong here. Okay, well, we're going to go ahead and switch gears, and this was a get to know you, but we're actually going to go into a topic. Can you believe that? And that topic I'm putting on the screen for everybody right now. That's right. We all saw it. We're all going to talk about it.
Mario movie.
Super Mario Brothers, the movie.
I'm so excited.
So, if you haven't seen the movie and you don't want to hear spoilers, I want you to stay and enjoy the show, but you might want to run. You might want to close out and just, I don't know, go watch something else, because we're talking about it right now. It's happening.
Tune in later.
And y'all get to see on screen.
He
Well, yeah,
looks a little
better-
kooky.
My Hot Wheels. Yeah, mute the tab.
Mute the tab. Better yet,
Yeah.
go see the movie right now. Just leave your house, go see the movie, come back, and then you can listen to the audio version. There you go. I think that'd work for everybody. But the Mario
And I'm gonna make a lot of collectors mad. And I'm gonna let it, as Macrodona says, let it breathe. I'm opening this up live right now.
I'm not
I'm on the hunt too because like I have this. These are hard to come by, but I also want Hot Wheels made the plumber's truck. So the Super Mario Brothers plumber's truck.
That's
That is a Hot
cool.
Wheel.
That is cool.
I already own like tons of like Mario Kart Hot Wheels, but I don't have one based on the movie. So
if you need the plumber's truck,
I'm not surprised, but those are cool.
I was going to say, if you need a plumber's truck, I think there's somebody in the chat right now who lives around Nintendo, New York. Why don't you reach out to Johnny after the show?
well, there's actually a collector's meet around my area that my wife and I got invited to go to because I lately, like for content, I've been filming, picking up stuff because I'm kind of a collector of Hot Wheels that are based on like movie and video game and TV properties. So I did a couple stuff like that. So I'm kind of hoping I'll just find it there because a lot of collectors around here like to go and pick and then resell it. So I was just like, I'll just grab it from there.
That wouldn't be a bad way. Meetups are pretty good because number one, I hate paying shipping.
Yeah, exactly.
I used to go like only free shipping with stuff until I myself started selling. By the way, Reset Revolution Games and Toys, part of Reset Press Media. Thank you. I found out really quick why it's important to pay shipping your seller, because they take one hell of a hit on any profits they're going to get if you don't. So I none of us like it, right? None of us like it, but I'm telling you, help your sellers out. Pay the shipping.
Yeah. And unfortunately, video games and magazines, technically magazines, but they don't count as media mail. Therefore, it's a lot more expensive if you're going to be honest about it.
and be honest about it, because if the stuff has an automatic tab and it gets weighed, somebody's getting charged extra. That's just the way it's going to be. So somebody's going to get screwed if you're being dishonest. Don't do that. Pay your seller, do the right thing, and we'll all have a great time while we continue collecting.
Yeah.
But
sorry to derail that there, but yeah, Mario movie.
No, we don't. There is no derailing on this. All discussion is good discussion. I think everybody in the chat will agree because they have to. Right? Here you go, guys. She and I, the wife and I, saw the Mario movie last weekend. Wow. I liked it a lot more than I thought I would, because I went in I was fearing the worst. Because when you have this Hollywood cast, it's a Hollywood cast that's not typically known for their recordings. They're not voice actors. And so I was fearing what I was walking into. I wasn't worried about Jack Black because he's already proven himself with Kung Fu Panda and other movies like that, right? But the other ones, not as much. So I thought, well, there's a lot of ways this could go, and I think most of them are going to be in a negative direction. But I was wrong. Thankfully wrong. I thought it was fantastic. You too? What do you think?
I'm definitely on the same page with acting, for sure. I think that was one of the biggest things that people argued about online. And what is his name? Oh my god. Who played Mario?
Chris Pratt. Chris Pratt.
Yeah, Chris Pratt.
I feel like the boat has sailed with people loving Chris Pratt, unfortunately. And honestly, I thought he did quite well. I mean, you can kind of know it's Chris Pratt, whatever. But I thought his performance was good, and I thought everybody was really good. And Seth Rogen, Donkey Kong, I'm I know Seth Rogen, but I loved it. So
yeah.
I felt like a lot of the characters were on point. I wasn't distracted or bothered the whole time. It was not offensive in the best of ways.
I also I'm sorry, Johnny, go ahead.
No, I was going to say that with Seth Rogen, when I heard the announcement, all I was okay, you'll have your own interpretation of Donkey Kong. That's cool. I just want to see Donkey Kong do the Seth Rogen laugh, and he did it, and I kind of squealed a little bit and laughed along, and I went. All I wanted, and I got it.
I loved the way he said people are gonna hear his character too. He's it's gonna sound like me. I don't do voices. I appreciated the honesty, because everybody's well, how's this character gonna sound? How's that character gonna sound? And he's it's gonna sound like me. That's why.
Gonna be myself a little bit. It's all right.
And it was fine. It was perfectly fine.
Oh, yeah.
I especially love the way they handled the big contract. That Charles Martinet did not voice the characters, and they handled it in a way that I thought was very smart, very brilliant, probably smarter than them, so maybe Nintendo's the one who suggested it, but it was good. So for anybody who hasn't seen it yet, spoiler alert, they did do the voices at the beginning, but it was to be funny in a commercial. And then you find out that the influence for that voice was likely their father, who was voiced by Charles Martinet. So that was a really good touch. And if there's one thing you can say about this movie, it's that Easter eggs are everywhere.
Oh, I tried to be super silent in the theater. I was tapping my wife's shoulder and pointing at everything at the screen. I said, "Look, there's a duck. Look, these point characters." And there was stuff too. I was watching Easter egg videos after we got home from that, and I was just okay, what did I miss, or did anyone miss anything that I picked up on? And I was okay, he's playing Kid Icarus, and it's almost a shot-for-shot style as the Mario anime. I don't know if you ever watched that, the one-shot OVA that they did.
Oh no.
Okay,
no.
So there's a shot of him playing Famicom on a chair, and I swear to God, in the CG in the Super Mario Bros. Movies, it's almost shot for shot, trying to pay homage to that. But on top of his TV, he's playing Kid Icarus, there's a Star Fox R-Wing.
I didn't notice really that.
Cute. And honestly, the best part about the Easter eggs, I'm gonna call it my one of my besties, Connor, who went to the theater with us. So yeah, so there's like a few of us, and we were like the only adults in the theater without children. Okay, we were like the weird ones in the theater at that moment. And the whole time, Connor, I'm here to embarrass you. He was like, pointing at every Easter egg, and these kids like don't know what's going ahead. More cool, you know, the kids get excited about the obvious like turns of events in the story, but the whole time he was like, just like geeking out and like like there was even things I was rattling off that I was like, I don't know what this is. I don't, but I'm glad you're excited and you see it. So that was like an experience in itself. It was really fun to watch with my friend.
And I could have sworn, and I don't think I've seen any other Easter egg video mention it. Now, this could be just me, like in a Mandela effect. I probably didn't even remember it, or maybe it didn't happen. But I could have sworn, as soon as like Mario and Luigi get separated, and Luigi's at the in the dark place, I swear to God, they had like a little snippet of Luigi's Mansion. Like you hear, just hear that.
I've heard people say that.
I don't think you're wrong at all. I thought I heard that too. It was very faint. Very faint. But I think it was there. And I think they were planting seeds. They were planting little things like that.
Do a Luigi Mansion.
Exactly. I think they were planting little seeds like that to see if people were reacting positively to the movie. And then they could say, okay, now we have some ideas for what movies we can make. Is Luigi's Mansion one of them? It absolutely could be. Don't know if it is, but it could be. Donkey Kong also seems like it would be one that's in the works because people reacted so super positively to Seth Rogen.
I would like cry. That's like my favorite thing is Donkey Kong.
Yeah.
I will like lose my bananas. Excuse me.
She said
wife can attest to this too. Like when they start going into Kong Island or Kong Land, whatever they call their lands in the movie, like you hear the little bit of the Donkey Kong thing. Just hear. I was just like, ooh.
Also, can I mention? Okay, Senpai did notice me on Twitter, and I got really upset because we stayed to the end to like see the little thing after like the real credits, and it was like Donkey Kong rap from Donkey Kong 64, and I'm like, we are not acknowledging Grant. What the?
Like,
so I was rising a little bit with Grant Kirkhope.
They'll give credit. They'll give credit to Koji Kondo for like all of his Nintendo work, but it's like DK rap. I don't know. Google it.
Yeah.
Donkey Kong 64. I don't care who wrote the brilliant lyrics. Come on.
Yeah, it is a little mess up that they went that direction. I mean, Koji Kondo, in my opinion, is the #1 composer when it comes to video games. Just my opinion. Just mine, not everybody's, but I truly do think like he's #1. But you're not going to acknowledge Grant? What?
I know. Well, I might be a little biased where I mean I love Koji Kondo. Like, of course, who doesn't love Koji Kondo? But I'm like a David Wise kind of girl. Like, if that goes with my Donkey Kong obsession. So, I'll leave it there.
Speaking of music, everybody, in the moment I said that, I'm sure everybody's like, he's going to talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
Bowser sings.
Oh my god. Dude, that shit slams. That slaps. Oh my god. However, I wasn't thinking of that when you're thinking of Peaches. You know, just the one thing that really broke the immersion were all of the popular songs that were played in the film. And I'm like, we have so much good original Nintendo music. We could have done like a remix or like some sort of variation or change the instrumentation to fit the mood. That was one thing where I'm like, oh, this is an Illumination film.
Yeah, Illumination is kind of notorious for doing that sometimes. But the one that I read... a reason why they chose to do it, and it made sense for me at that point. Thunderstruck did not fit, correct. But Take On Me was in it because that was like the hit song the year that Super Mario Brothers released in the West. So from what I've read, that's why they chose to do that. Now, for the rest of it...
that's a really good... Like, I like that. That makes sense. Creative.
I mean, for the rest of it, it's Illumination, and I saw somebody mentioned earlier it wasn't perfect, and a lot of it is, I think it was held down by some of that Illumination flavor, if you know what I mean.
Yes.
They like to have really cheesy jokes. They like to just put random songs like that in, and it just at some point seems like they don't know when to quit, and there's no one telling them not to throw everything against the wall.
You know, let me like summarize my feeling with Illumination. I hate Despicable Me and the Minions movies. However, I love the Minions just by themselves. The Minions are perfect, but everything else surrounding like anything that's not a Minion is awful. Like I don't like anything but like the unique little thing, just the Minions doing the little gags, and everything else in those movies are just like so painful, and I can't do it. Yeah, so that's my take.
Johnny, you had a few things.
I don't really have a big thing with Illumination because I've never seen a Despicable Me or Minions movie because like that's
Bless your soul.
Yeah, I don't have kids to sit in front of to watch those. I think I saw like bits and pieces of Despicable Me, and I'm like, it looks harmless. Like I don't have any strong feelings about that animation company, and like I've always said, like if Nintendo ever let the reins down and say, hey, we're finally gonna let someone make a movie about our property, like it was like that or Pixar, like it's like you need to make a CG, you need to make it animated. There's no way in hell are you making it live action again.
And then also you have to consider too with like their choice of studio. In Japan, like people are obsessed with Minions, so I feel like it's a pretty obvious choice that Japanese people will be like, yes, that's Illumination. Like it's one of those things that's really, really hot in that country. So I think it was kind of an obvious choice in the sense of allowing Illumination to make their film.
The only issue moving forward with this partnership between Illumination and Nintendo is if they want to touch on some of their more serious properties. Like, for example, if you want to make a Legend of Zelda film, Illumination should be kept far, far away from that. Like, Illumination never touched Metroid. Illumination should never be touching Metroid. That, I think, would be an absolute quick question disaster. Too.
So, did you guys catch any Metroid references throughout the movie? Because that was something, like, if it was there, I didn't see it. And I was a little surprised. I just don't remember.
Off the top of my head, I don't think there was any Metroid references. Because it was a lot of like the Easter eggs and the references were a lot of like black box, like launch title NES stuff. So like, well, or post stuff too, because like the pizzeria that they're in is Punch Out. There's a Duck Hunt themed store. Mm-hmm. There's another store that is that has the balloon fight guys on there. Couple other posters. Oh, one of the things too, when they were running to their first job, you notice that like all the construction going around. Once again, shout to Wrecking Crew, because Spike from Wrecking Crew was kind of like their IRL nemesis. They were running through the construction zone, and it was a 1-to-1 remake of World 1-1.
Oh, really?
That I didn't.
Yeah, they had like I was watching the Easter egg thing, and they had specifically placed bricks and buckets to resemble like where you would get the first mushroom and coins. And of course, like, sliding down the post, and there's like a castle just right there. So,
no, I did not notice that. Like at the very beginning, it really started off super strong with everything it should. It introduced Spike at the beginning. If you're going to tell the beginning of the Mario Brothers, Spike is really important. Most people who are not like insane about Mario does not know who Spike is. Well, you do now. And a lot of people don't realize in like the Mario timeline that they were, part of the Wrecking Crew at the beginning. They were plumbers at the start. That was not their first job. They were deconstruction at first, or demolition. So, I mean, it really paid very close attention to the history of these characters. And I think with that part, they did a fantastic job.
And
Yeah.
also, I have to appreciate like Mayor Pauline on like the news for like, New York and
Yeah.
that made me
Yeah,
really
for like
happy
half a second.
that she showed up for a second.
Also, I'm gonna say this right now, like the design for Mario Luigi's dad, to me, I got mad Talon vibes from Ocarina of Time. Like Malon's father.
Oh, oh shit! I
Did
didn't
That's
you-
like
even
a
think of
you-
good
that.
call.
Did I just unlock something by mentioning that? Because like you look at him, like the way like the mustache goes, parts up with the hair. I'm just like,
Mhm.
dude, like I should be waking you up with the chicken, and you've got to run home to the ranch to take care of Epona, right?
No, man, I
Mhm.
did not put those Legos together, but you've got a point
No,
there.
I mean, like he's obviously like in Zelda. Yeah, he's meant to kind of look like Mario. Like I didn't even think of that. That's brilliant.
Yeah.
Brilliance.
That's what I'm saying. This is the attention to detail they put in this movie was just super, super important. It's just when they started again going off the rails, and it seemed like somebody just forgot to tell them when to quit. They got to way to illumination about things and just went crazy. But aside from that, it was just awesome segment after awesome segment in this movie. Like we mentioned earlier, Bowser having his song, because of course Jack Black isn't going to sign a contract without having a song. So that was solid. Luigi having his Luigi's Mansion moment, and then we get to see what like these obstacle courses that they have in the Mushroom Kingdom, what those are all about. Those were really cool, but I think the best part for me, the part that was just like, okay, they've done their homework and they know what's up, was the Mario karting section.
Yeah.
So cute.
Especially since like right before Thunderstruck comes in and ruins it, like they had like a really good rendition of the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe theme
Mm-hmm.
when they're picking right before they and I love the fact too that we're like Cranky's just like, oh, customize your cart, and like they're actually going through like Mario Kart 8 and like, all right, let me pick my body, let me pick
And
the
Slippy.
wheel, let me pick my glider. I was just like, oh, this is cool.
Mm-hmm.
And let me just say, one of the parts I laughed hardest at was with Toad and the giant monster truck. That was probably like one of the best reveals. So I was thinking, like, okay, Donkey Kong. Like, I feel so naive that I fell for that, but it was like a delight. It made me so happy.
I also appreciated that they added anti-grav in, because again, clearly they are
Yes.
truly paying attention to the games because they're doing that.
Yeah.
Rainbow Road, yeah, sure, that's going to make everybody go wild, but I think it had to be there if you're going to do a kart section like that. But
Oh,
let's
yeah.
talk about the thing that they
Mhm.
didn't have to put in that was there, and that was badass. I think everybody knows what I'm talking about, or at least you should. One of the Koopas went a little kamikaze. I loved it. Just like, no, blue shell.
At first, I didn't think he was actually going to like do the whole blue shell, and as we say on game days, nuclear launch detected. I thought like just him in that cart was going to be the representation of a blue shell because he's always going after the lead, right? But then he gets out and he's just like, he comes out of the fire wreck. He's just like, no, it gets away from the blue shell. And he flies out. I was just like, okay, that was awesome.
They even paid so much attention to what was going on that they made sure, like the actual blue shell in the game, it starts circling you a few times before hitting.
Yeah.
So much attention to detail, guys. That's
I just
where they
felt
went
like
great.
I saw my life flash before my at that moment. I was like, oh God, no. I got very stressed out. My eyes.
Also, it's kind of funny if you never noticed, in the whole movie, Mario and Luigi never touch a fire flower. It's always Peach and Donkey Kong.
I liked Peach's like outfit change in that. It was really cute. And let me just say, one thing, I mean, I don't think you guys would like really care or notice, but I do deeply appreciate Peach's modesty. Let me put it that way. Like especially when she was teaching Mario, like the little course, and I can do this so fast and cool. Like I love that she was wearing like stockings underneath that like go to her ankle. I really appreciated that. All considering how juicy the the Peachy song is now online. At least kept it appropriate. And like I know that you guys probably don't care, but I noticed that kind of stuff and I liked that. So
Yeah.
I thought it was appreciated.
I didn't fully notice that, but I don't want any of the characters to be abused. And that's the biggest takeaway in this movie is I don't think any of the characters were abused, mistreated, or anything. Were there some kind of cringy moments here and there? Sure. But it's Illumination.
Yeah.
It's going to happen. But overall,
It's a family and children's film. Remember, everyone. Remember.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they got to have moments like that so the kids can be like, "Ah, yay!" But overall, it didn't abuse any of the characters, and that is, in my opinion, a win. You can go back to the original Mario movie and watch that. Nobody came out okay.
No, that movie was so bad.
Well, I mean, like John Leguizamo and Bob Hoskins were drunk half the time.
Yeah, not even the people came out okay, let alone the characters. So,
and Bob Hoskins got injured. Like,
yeah, he broke his arm.
They had to like paint his cast blue to match the outfit.
Yep.
So I didn't know, like, I didn't have the Mario, like the first like live action Mario movie, like as a kid, and it wasn't until I was probably like 13ish that I had discovered it. My friend had it on VHS, so he let me come over and watch it. And the whole time I was like, I don't believe you. There's no such thing as a Mario movie. It was never in my scope of media ever as a child. And I was just so utterly confused the whole time. And he's like, this movie's bad. I'm like, I gotta see it. I gotta make sure it's real. And I just, even as a kid, I loved making fun of everything. And like meeting TV and like, hee. Like my brother and I poked a lot at every movie or TV show we watched, but the Mario movie was like so bad at that moment that I couldn't even make fun of it. That's how I felt about that film. I could make fun of everything, but not that movie.
No, but what I do like about the Illumination's take on this is that there is a lot of like backstory for Peach, because they kind of led her on to like they found her as a baby and took her in and made her the princess. You don't get that in the games because it's just Bowser got her. All right, go get her. Right? No backstory for her.
An origin,
but in
where
this,
she
like,
came from.
Yeah, because like Mario even says, it's like, hey, maybe you're from my galaxy, or maybe you're from Earth. It's like, well, maybe she's because she mentions there's lots of galaxies out there. Oh, yeah. We talked about like depressed Luma in the cage.
Oh, that hurt.
I love that.
It went on too far, too long.
It did go too far, too long, and that was the Illumination cringe, where it's like, okay, I get it, guys, I get it. You're trying to be.
It's the popular thing in culture, huh? We're so negative about everything.
Yeah, or it's just like, oh, the cutest character does that. It was fun for a little bit, but after a while, it was just, the grinding on me, it hurts.
Also, another very depressing subject that did not appear in the film, which I've heard the complaints among my friends. They lost the potential of dropping a penguin somewhere in that film, and they did not do it. We could have Luma talk about life forever and ever, how depressing it is, but no penguin dropping.
Oh my, I did not even think of that. I thought of the penguins, I'm like, those are clearly the penguins from 64, but geez.
Yeah, like he takes over the kingdom, gets the superstar. Like not once could he just like pick up one penguin and just go.
You can at least like,
drop him off an edge.
You
Just
don't
has
have
to drop him.
it.
No, you can drop the penguin. Don't drop him off an edge, but you can just drop him.
He could just grab a penguin, pick him up, and then and then drop him. I didn't even think of that. Oh man. I guess the last thing we should talk about the Mario movie is the question of, did it need the ending after the ending? And what I mean by that is they had a great way to wrap it up right at the end at the wedding scene. Mario defeats Bowser. They've got him taken care of. Everything's looking good, but they're like, remember, the original Mario movie went back to their world and then back to Mushroom Kingdom, so we have to do the same. And thus they did. Did anybody notice that?
I don't really have an opinion about that.
They followed that to a T. the same way they did in the original movie. You go to Mushroom Kingdom, you come back to the real world, you go back to Mushroom Kingdom. They followed that format to a T.
I forgot about that. But I mean, like, they leave it open because, like, the warp fight's always there, so they can always freely go back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't like the last one where, like, all right, Daisy has to stay behind to, like, seal the thing, but then she comes up and, like, they try to sequel bait. It's like, you're not gonna believe this, and it's like, well, we won't. We don't believe it because you never made a sequel. So, like, you know, who was the big baddie of the second movie? We never knew.
And then also, like, given kind of their human world context, like, they are definitely young adults. They're probably early 20s, I can kind of guess, you know, just living at home with the family, young, starting a business, etc. It's at a point where it's like, I could move out of my mom and dad's house, I'm gonna do it. So I think even if you think about their real life situation, if they have the opportunity to get out, and also considering that Mario feels so much stronger and in like the Mushroom Kingdom and all the other galaxies and worlds we'll probably see in the future, it just like makes sense even in like their characters. And speaking of which, I want more Luigi. Luigi didn't have enough time.
I agree.
Who was Luigi? Was Luigi one of the other brothers?
Luigi.
Oh, just Luigi himself. Okay,
that's what I was thinking.
Sorry.
Yeah, because most people believe that the next movie, since Charlie Day has already requested it, is Luigi's Mansion.
Yeah, please. Oh my God, please.
Yes.
They, like we said near the beginning of the topic, they've sown the seeds, and I think everybody reacted positively because they've shown that they understand what it should be like, and we got a taste, and we all saw King Boo. Boo. So we know
and King Bob-omb, but I think he's probably
that was so
gone.
cute.
Well, spoiler alert, he's a little dead. He might come back. Who knows?
I forgot. Yeah.
It's very sad. It's very sad. We all cried. Everybody in the audience are just shedding tears. They're like, "Oh, King Bob-omb, no!"
Oh my gosh! And am I also the only? I loved, in terms of like the enemies in the film, I loved all the dry bones. I thought they were like literally the funniest and best in terms of like antagonists. However, I got like a lot of Yoshi Island spooks with the evil Shy Guys and everything. Like, I got very like I like wanted to cry. I was like, oh my God. Like, Yoshi's Story is like one of those games where like I will undoubtedly cry at my game over. So I had some real feels for a minute there.
I thought the dry bones they did a good job of making them terrifying.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yes.
you thought so too.
But like they were cute still, but then I'm thinking like, oh, Yoshi's Story and like all the Yoshi that stuff makes me cry. Even still to this day I think about it. So, you know, like the really spooky like executioner level Shy Guy was like very harrowing.
So, speaking of the Yoshis, I say that the post credit scene with the Yoshi egg, I mean, okay, it was cute, but then again, like, it's not that big, like Iron Man, Nick Fury type deal.
No,
because here's my reasoning with that is, okay, yeah, it's cute, yeah, Yoshi, and then he goes Yoshi, I'm like, that's cute and all, but like, we know Yoshi's exist because they go past Yoshi's Island on their way to Donkey Kong Island. So it's like, there's no surprise that Yoshi exists in this universe. Like, I want, like, when the post-credit scene was coming up, I just wanted to hear, wah! I wanted Wario at the end.
Stop. Okay, but here's the thing. Okay, so the Yoshi thing, obviously a little predictable because there's the Yoshi little baby egg. We saw that at a point. And, like... Okay, so Yoshi don't got shit on Shadow. When I saw Sonic 2 the year prior, again, we were probably in the biggest theater room. We went on a Saturday. There was children everywhere. Again, we're the only adults alone without children to chaperone. I like literally like unintelligibly screamed, and like kids were like, whatever. And I had my unintelligible scream with Yoshi because I love Yoshi. Yoshi's like my number 2 like character in like any Mario game that I select. But Shadow, I'm a little more hyped for Sonic 3. Let me just Sonic 3 the movie, let me just say that. It comes out November, I think, this year. So
This
That's
year?
soon?
don't got shit. I
That
think it's coming
soon?
out this November. Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know that.
I haven't seen
So
any
I'm
trailer or
keeping
any press
track.
release or anything.
Cause I'm literally gonna cry when I see Shadow. Like, you guys don't even know.
Yeah. That's when you should turn to the kids who are just like, what's this Shadow? It's just like, they're gonna give a hedgehog a gun.
Guys,
You
there's no
get
words.
hyped for
It's just
that.
it's more unintelligible, like that's gonna be the whole next movie. Like, again, seriously, when I see children's films and we're the only adults, like we're way louder than the kids, and they just like don't get why.
I could just see
Ever.
Liz now making that noise in the theater, and they keep calling for medical assistance. We think she's having
There's
spasms.
Yeah, I think there's a young
Basically.
lady in the third row is having a seizure right now. Some medical personnel out here.
I
I think she
show
might be
my
trying to swallow her
enthusiasm.
tongue.
She keeps screaming about something shadow. I don't understand.
I think she might be possessed. She keeps seeing shadows. She might be seeing shadow people.
But overall, my take on the Mario movie, good, really good. I am glad that I spent the money to go see it. I'm glad. I can't remember what the acronyms for it are. Where basically it's like a theater where you get like the big reclining chair and like you've got the big drink holder, so you can
fancy-
bring in like
Um,
extreme theater experience or something.
AXS, maybe.
It's
No,
called
it's-
you're a bougie bitch. That's what that means.
Extreme
Hang on, let me
marquee is what
pretend-
I've
let me-
been told.
Let me pretend to buy a ticket right now, and I'll.
Well,
I
here,
wouldn't
All right, let me pretend I'm gonna go see Mario again.
Okay, you do that.
AVX or D box.
Oh, it's not called that here. It's like
Oh, did anything rumble or
oh no, nothing like that. You just
Oh,
got
like
big
the
ass chairs.
4D experience. I don't
4D?
know.
Yeah,
No,
something
you
like
just
that.
got like
No.
big ass chairs, so you didn't have to be close to
That's just a
anybody.
fancy theater. That's what I literally go to the movie theater. Like, I see 1 or 2 movies in the theater every week. That's definitely like you have to pay for like the premium theater where it's like white glove service kind of theater, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, but I don't regret paying the money to do that. I think I had a great time there. I thought it was a great movie, and
Treat yourself.
Yep.
Treat yourself.
oh yeah, definitely. I do that a little too often, I think, but I would do it again for that movie in a heartbeat.
Oh, yeah.
Do I think it's perfect? No, it's not perfect. But is it worth your money? Yeah, it's definitely worth your money. If they have some collector edition when it comes out, I'm buying it. Definitely. And I don't care what comes out next, be it Donkey Kong, Metroid, Luigi's Mansion, Wrecking Crew. I don't care. I'm there.
I want more. I just want more.
And I think as of today, it's I think it's past 1 billion. At least in North America and Europe. It's hitting Japan like soon, if not already. So we'll see how the Japanese market takes it up. I mean, it's already it will
it'll
pass
sell
1 billion.
well.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah. Yeah, and if I have the opportunity to, I am willing to pay the slight upcharge to see it in 3D if it is available. There's a couple of showings. I just like didn't want to deal with it. Sometimes 3D like looks really good, or it's like kind of hard to focus and watch, at least for me. But I do want to see it in 3D if I am able to. That's kind of my next agenda in the theater.
So I say ultimately, if I was going to put it on a scale, I'd probably either 8.5 or 9 is what I'd give it, because I see it as a really high up there movie. I guess we'll go around the circle here, Johnny.
Actually, it was great. I mean, is it perfect? No, I mean, like there's little things here and there. I think though it's perfectly paced. Though it's a short 90 minutes. It's a great movie for kids. You can just play it on repeat to your heart's content, and it's just a good movie. It's way better. It's way better than that crap they gave us back in '93. Tell you that much.
They
Well-
tried.
What would you give it if you were going to
Maybe.
give it like a scale out of 10?
I would say a solid 8.
Nice. All right, Liz.
Okay, so I don't do number scaling with movies because Judgment is I don't like the numbering system. I think it's whack. I would put this in terms of like my first part of the year, and again, I see like 1 or 2 movies every single week. So among like everything I've seen in 2023, I would put this in the A tier.
Oh,
Yes.
still like it.
Unfortunately,
we're all-
there's been really bad movies this year, so but it was good.
I think that all pretty much puts us in the same area, which is impressive for the movie because I mean, I think all of us here are pretty big Mario / Nintendo fans. I'd say so. You did good, Illumination. Just learn to calm down sometimes.
Dial it
That's-
down.
A little too much. We did have somebody let us know that apparently there was a Metroid reference that we didn't see in it.
Yeah. Like
there
West Silent Hero in the chat there. So you're in the news report about the broken pipe. Excuse me. Signal detected from the FS176 system.
I'm not gonna notice that.
was
Yeah,
that,
I wouldn't
was
have
that a-
noticed that.
Yeah, was that a code from like the original Metroid? What is that?
I'm not sure. I would consider myself well versed in Metroid lore, but not to that
We're
extent
just
where I know
not real
system names and
fans.
shit.
Johnny, we're just not real fans. Excuse me.
I'm not a real fan
Oh.
either.
We're gonna get canceled because we did not catch that one reference. We're not real Nintendo fans. Excuse me.
I don't know what's going on
sorry,
anymore.
it's Samus Aaron, not Aaron.
Guys, why don't Metroid crawl? I need
Why
to know.
you no call?
Why you no crawl, Metroid? Why you no crawl?
Mouse is a girl. What?
But the manual said that Samus was a man.
Samus.
Mouse.
Uh, but I think that's gonna go ahead and wrap it up for episode 1. We were planning to do just one topic, so big shock there. But I hope everybody enjoyed everything we brought to you for episode 1. I think we had a fantastic time. I hope you all did
Absolutely.
too.
E.
And this is going to keep happening. It's going to be every 2 weeks. That way, we always have fresh topics to bring you, and you don't get sick of us. Because it's the old saying, how can I miss you if you don't go away? So if we're here all the time, we might burn you out. We don't want to do that. And we don't want to burn ourselves out either. Because we've all got other projects going on, which means we're going to take a quick moment and tell you about those. Johnny, what are you doing anymore?
Anymore.
Yeah,
Well,
what
what I'm
do
not
you
doing
do on a
anymore
daily
is,
basis? What do you do
well,
online?
Yeah. Well, what I'm doing now is actually this is like the perfect time because I'm changing up the script. I'm doing different stuff on Twitch. So I've doing 4 days a week, categorizing everything. So Mondays I play games with mods, like ROM hacks, fan translations, fan games, PC mods, stuff like that. Speaking of Metroid, that's what I'm doing is a little mod called Super Metroid Rotation, where the entire map is rotated 90 degrees. So up is left, down is right. And you better be good at wall jumping because you're going to need it. So I'm doing that. I do co-op games on Tuesdays with Melanie, my wife. And we were going to start up Halo 3 with some friends, but Fortnite had to go and say like, hey, we're doing a Star Wars event for May the 4th and we're giving you Anakin Skywalker. And I'm just like, all right, we're going back to Fortnite on Tuesday. So people are free to join us on that. Wednesdays, I just do whatever. And then Thursdays, I do extra live streams. So I raise money for my local children's charity every Thursday. And that I just play whatever. And then on the YouTube side of things, I just there's plans in the works right there, but like I've got like a million ideas, so I'm just trying to like get them all together. But yeah, if you guys want to follow me, I'm Johnny L Chase on all the socials and all the YouTubes and Twitches and all that. And I'll figure out what's going on with my camera there, because I don't know why I'm so pixelated there.
Okay.
I think they love you anyway. It'll be okay.
Hope so.
Liz, what are you doing?
So, now that I kind of have a little bit of a setup, I'm gonna go find myself a monitor or something in which I could play games on. I want to start doing early Sunday morning streams, just playing chill games. I have not played a game that's ruined my life for a couple of months, so kind of debating among which farming simulator or home simulator I want to play. But I do want to do like early morning where I have coffee and hang out and like chill and have fun because I'm a grandma and I get up early these days. Aside from that, I am working on editing some Creator Clash footage from a couple of weeks ago. I went to Creator Clash 2, and I also have my videos from. So I'm gonna put that up on my vlog channel because a lot of people took a lot of interest in the stuff that I uploaded really quickly, like long continuous takes. A lot of the other stuff is a little bit of editing. Aside from that, I'm working on some cosplay because it is last year. The convention season, it's starting up, so I really want to focus on getting a couple of costumes out, and I want to hopefully get one of my first serious scripted videos out there this summer. So that's kind of where I'm at with project now.
And on my end, obviously, I'm going to be continuing Game Days for Good. That's the charity organization that both Johnny and I are a part of. They're actually streaming this evening, and we're going to raid them after we're done here. But I'm going to continue Game Days with Good, or Game Days for Good. Also, everything Reset Press. So I mentioned that earlier. We have a sales side of everything here. It's Reset Revolution Toys and Games. If you follow my social that you see below me, you'll find out more about that. And along with that, I'm going to try to put out one recorded, edited video on YouTube a month. That's the big goal I'm going to try. It's just me, Reset Patrick. And then the big thing that I've just launched doing. Get over here. Give me. Give me. Oh, you can Minecraft in a second. Me and this lovely lady here, we just started up, and we're going to be doing what's called Co-op Campus. So I'm not going to be streaming by myself anymore. I'm streaming with my wife. And if anybody wants to see that, that's twitch.tv/Co-op Campus, all one word. And we'd love to have you there.
Oh, you guys are so sweet, streaming with your wives. Like, I would have streamed with my partner, Cody. Some Elder Scrolls. Maybe when he doesn't have school this summer, we could do Elder Scrolls Arena, and I'm gonna cry the whole time.
Yeah.
You guys are so sweet. We're not in the schedule yet where we could do that. But like, I love that you hang out with your wives and do all these cool projects, and it's just like, it's so cool.
I'm so happy. I wouldn't want it any other way. So we do a lot of Minecraft. So if you want to see some couples craft is what we call it, we'll be doing that. We're going to be doing some couples Phasmo, so that should be insane. And as soon as we can get it going, there is like a multiplayer Skyrim that we're going to try to get going.
Ooh.
So that should be wacky.
Shut up. Okay, let me know.
It's a mod.
Please.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh, okay. But still, Skyrim is it's kind of like a triggering word in my household, but I would love to participate. Like me being like, yeah, we're playing Arena.
See,
That sounds really fun.
I'm not a really big Skyrim person. That's never been me. She knows more about Skyrim than me. So thousands of hours as she put it. So yeah. She's gonna be teaching me the ropes.
Yeah, exactly. That's good. Like she can teach the ropes. That's kind of what I do with Mel. Is like we're actually going through and playing through a lot of games with online co-op. So like we've gone through Halo 1 and 2. They're gonna go through the rest of them. Eventually we'll do Gears of War, and I'm gonna see if I can convince her to do the Saints Row games, because like Jimbo and I, one of our other co-hosts over at Game Days for Good, like we played every single Saints Row game and just had stupid fun. It's so good.
Well, if you can't get her to do it, you need somebody else. Dana loves Saints Row far more than I do. She is like Saints Row crazy, dude.
Yeah.
She'd love it. But that's going to wrap it up for episode 1 of the Reset Button here at Reset Press. Episode 1 loading complete. Gonna keep this going, guys. Remember, if you want to see future episodes, you got to follow the channel here. It's not gonna be on my personal channel. It's always gonna be here, right here at Reset Press. So you gotta follow here. We hope to see you 2 weeks from now, guys. We're gonna throw this over to Game Days for Good. If you're not familiar with them, as I mentioned earlier, it's a charity streaming group that Johnny and I are both a part of. So go over there, and any sort of bits, subs, donations, all of that, it goes to children's charities. Nobody keeps anything. We're all volunteers here. So go give them some love, guys. Have a great night, and thank you for such a great first episode. Take care.
Good night.
Bye.